All right, cool. So we're gonna go live soon. As this is a mobile broadcast, I'm in a temporary place right now. So I'm gonna move in just a minute. But anyways, we'll go ahead and get started. Cool, and it's gonna be weird tonight because I don't have my hat on, right? Cool. So there's no viewers right now, so we're just gonna kind of wait till some people trickle in and stuff. Yeah. So you might see some black for a minute, and if I move. So yeah, cool. I always play the movies in the background so that I can view the content that we're gonna talk about. So you'll see me kind of do that sort of stuff too. But I am actually gonna move locations right now, so you'll see some blackness for just a minute. All right. Cool. So I hope some of you have actually gotten the opportunity to actually see the film. The Ranch was probably pretty new for everybody. So what? So The Force Awakens, it came out in. We had tickets and everything, so in advance, but I just don't remember the date for some reason. Cool, December 18th. So it just came out like what? So it's April right now. So it just came out a couple of months ago. So it's actually that's pretty quick. We're out on December 18th because it actually Force Awakens just dropped on digital HD. So and it's kind of everywhere. It has they have deals with kind of everybody. So it's Disney rewards or something that you were able to purchase so my fiance, she got a poster kit, and then the digital film was part of that as well. So I got that as a gift. Here, let me increase my brightness, right? Yeah, so you can see me better, yeah? All right, hold on one sec. Cool. So you can see me better. That's good. Here, let me get into the film. Came out in December. It's been 3 or 4 months, so I don't know about you guys, but you know, it was a lot longer for me for a good film to come out. When the last film by Lucas was quite a few years ago. So we've been. There was the exchange of the rights, right? So that was a big deal, yeah. So obviously everyone went into it, you know, with expectations. So I feel as though as J.J. Abrams was probably one of that could have. I'm not others that even could have gotten the opportunity. I haven't really checked into that much, but so cool. JJ has some really cool projects. I don't know if you know J.J. Abrams, but J.J. Abrams was a big television director for quite some time before he segued into film. So I like directors like that. He and several others. So the franchise Yeah, so he and his brother, they write and direct the projects. So it was fun to see them grow. It was also real fun to see JJ grow, you know, and outgrow television. It looks as though as the things he was hoping to achieve with his cinematic visions was just grander. It always was, even when he was on television, which he's back on television now. But even when he was on television before, the shows that they did, the budget's just outstanding. Like with Lost, for instance, they actually shot on location in Hawaii, and they actually they bought. I think I'm not sure what the model of the plane is. All the nerds for Lost will. It's like a 757 or something. Anyways, I'm gonna sound like such a it's like such a nerd if I get it wrong. But yeah, they actually bought part of a plane and gutted it. I think they bought two, to be honest, because but anyways, so they did the beach scenes like full real. So you know, I have not really paid much attention to JJ personally, like Star Trek. I enjoy the films, but I mean, I don't. I haven't been watching behind the scenes and stuff, you know. So Lost was like so long ago, and you know, we just ate that sort of content up in those days because there was just so little of that sort of pure content for our television era in that time. I mean, Lost was a good show, you know. So yeah, I mean, but cool. So his segue into Star Trek and stuff was pretty famous, right? So for him to be at the head of a big leap for someone coming out of television, even though he was doing so well. And it's become more common now, but people just back then, they weren't really doing that sort of thing, right? So it's good that JJ, I like the grandness of the Star Treks now. You know, I very much like how he uses the characters and he there is more, there's always more than just one, so that's phenomenal because some of the great directors like Ridley Scott is a great character director, so many others, right? So but for him to be so prominent, you know, so quickly, it was, I don't think anyone ever would have guessed that. Yeah, so cool. Let's go ahead and move on to Star Wars: The Force Awakens, right? So I'm a big fan of the content. I know too much about Star Wars, right? Um, so for me, I actually have some of these books that this content is based on, and I never read them, so it was open game for me as to what is going to happen in this franchise. So I knew a little bit about what was going to happen, like I could guess based on the comics what's popular, what has grown because the expanded universe in Star Wars, I don't know if some of you know, but the expanded universe goes on in books and graphic novels and just continues to keep going in video games. So in the world of Star Wars, there's like, well, there's a couple thousands of years now. So the old Republic was like thousands of years ago, and then we're now in the now time, and then so they were playing around in like 8 years or something with the first films, and then the second set of films took that back like an earlier to like 20 years earlier or something. But so where we're at now, from what the opening tells us, is it's 25 years later, right? Let me pull up the movie so I can watch some of it in the background and kind of discuss it as it goes. Cool. So certain characters, it was really, really fun. So for me, the whole ride over to, so after the scroll sequence, right, we actually get to a planet. On the planet, we start to discuss the details of something important, right? So they don't really, at this point, we don't really know what is so important. We just see that there's a squadron of villains coming, and when we get to the setting, that it is at a resistance point, right? So you see a resistance fighter, what looks like an old Jedi, right? So this squadron lands. They capture both parties, both the old Jedi, and the pilot. And so there's a skirmish. The droid gets away, and the pilots get taken. Yeah. So the pilot's tortured, and the information is gotten. So what's really cool instantly these characters is self. It was just hard to kind of position what his role is going to be in this film. So it was cool when his part was cool, right? So he, to me, is kind of taking the place of Wedge Antilles, or he'll kind of be the new Han, to be honest, because Wedge was always a super supporting character. I don't know why he was always so prominent as the best fighter pilot, beyond Luke. But yeah, so his name is Poe, I believe. Oh, damn. Let's see. Yeah, Dameron. So he actually, well, at this point, so we're gonna go to In with the Bad Guys, right? So I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing his name right. So it's Kylo Ren, right? So the new Darth. His mask is so. At first, you don't know what he is. You don't know if he's human. You don't know, because in Star Wars there's aliens and stuff like that. So when you're introduced to that character, and the graphics have gotten really good, right? So he stops bolts in midair and stuff, and so he's quite powerful at this point. If you know Star Wars, to be catching things in midair. Especially bullets, is pretty powerful. So during this entire scene, while they're taking, so it was more than just the two. So it was more than the old Jedi and Poe in this small village, right? So the stormtroopers stormed the whole village. It's a massacre, yeah. So they're here killing everyone, and then this main villain comes out, the Darth that I'm talking about, right? So what's odd during this whole entire scene is we are seeing a stormtrooper not do his job well. So that instantly, to everyone, says that this could be a human. So we don't know where we're at with the Republic, right? So as far as I know with the literature, they used to grow these things as clones, right? So now in these times, what they do is they go and they take new planets and take children away at young ages. So it's like old war tactics, where you integrate, you slay the men, take the women, and, I guess train the kids to do the same stuff. Anyways, so this character that is a stormtrooper and that is not doing his job well is arbitrary. We see the old Jedi cut down. The two know each other. The two were arguing, and one was saying that you weren't always so bad, and stuff like that, right? So they must have a history, and what I would anticipate is it's from Yavin 4, right? So if you guys don't know, Luke starts a new Jedi Order, right? It's the new Jedi Order. But he starts it at a Jedi. He starts a new Jedi Academy on Yavin 4. Something bad happens there, right? So to the extent of my knowledge, Han and Leia had kids who were force sensitive and put into that academy, and Luke was training them. So this thing, hopefully you guys have seen this movie, yeah? So this thing at the end that we see at the end that this Darth is talking to is some sort of ancient power that is discovered during that time on Yavin 4, right? So a lot of these things happen in these stories, like hidden with evil. So, like kind of like Harry Potter. So, it is mystic. Is very There's a lot of mysticism in Star Wars. Um, there are a lot of ancient evils that perpetuate. Yeah. So. It is very reminiscent. This Darth is very reminiscent of Darth Vader. So the more that this Jedi talks, it sounds more like family. So that the droid BB-8 gets away. He gets to Jakku, which is the nearest desert city. So this whole scene right here is very reminiscent of A New Hope and Luke on Mos Eisley. Yeah. So. Luke and Mos Eisley. Um, so this character, her name is Rey. She is quite talented in a lot of things. She's very poor and lives by herself and pretty much scavenge for a living. So she is scavenging in a destroyer, which is pretty nerdy, for everyone who saw it in the theaters. So she's scavenging in the destroyer and is picking parts up, and she's selling them for rations, right? So naturally, she gets entangled in the story with the droid, right? So she's a scavenger. She actually saved the droid from being scavenged by other creatures. So because the droid is an intellectual, and the thing that she took it from was very not intellectual and treats these droids pretty badly. So she acted like she was saving the droid from a terrible death, which we've seen in other Star Wars. Droids get tortured and stuff in the desert. Anyways, cool. So, whenever our characters at the beginning, so Poe is taken to a destroyer in tortured. That's where they get the information for BB-8. So that Darth gets the new information. He sends out a unit to go and collect the BB-8 unit. They fail with that, and that whole scene is really funny. So, but anyways, on the Star Destroyer with Poe, that stormtrooper that is defective, he and Poe escape together. It's convenient for the both of them because Poe happens to be a really good fighter pilot and can fly almost anything, and this stormtrooper can't. So it's important that he collects a pilot was taken during this raid. So he goes to the pilot that's being tortured, and he frees him, and they escape together on a TIE fighter. And so they chase after the TIE fighter. Ion torpedoes are shot at the TIE fighter. The stormtrooper does a good job and blasts a couple of them out of the sky, but the TIE fighter's damaged, and they are the choice was to get it. So Poe needed to go back to Jakku. Yeah, that stormtrooper didn't want to. So yeah, as Poe was flying, the stormtrooper didn't have a choice, and then their vehicle got wrecked, so they got stranded. Poe doesn't turn up in the damage, and our stormtrooper, the defective stormtrooper. We have now named him Finn. He's given a number as he was taken at a young age from his parents. He's integrated into that combat system and given a number. And anyways, so he tells the number to Poe, and Poe thinks it sounds like Finn and calls him Finn. So Poe is seemingly destroyed during this wreckage, and Finn is going to make his way back to Finn is going to make his way, unfortunately, to Jakku. So I'll just leave it there for today. Maybe we do more tomorrow, yeah, or maybe we do something. So eventually, I hope to sit in here and actually talk about stuff. So yeah, cool.